Are electric vehicles really the environmentally friendly answer we've been looking for, or are there more hidden effects than first glance? Come along as we reveal the truth about the revolution in electric vehicles. How much do electric cars actually save on pollution, and how do they compare to other types of cars? Is it reliable to say that electric vehicles are environmentally friendly, or are there unstated expenses that need to be taken into account? Prepare to investigate the environmental impact of electric cars and find out if they're actually the future sustainable form of transportation. It has been said that the rise in popularity of electric vehicles represents a major advancement in the fight against climate change and the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. Though interest for electric cars, EVs, is high, concerns regarding their environmental impact remain. Are electric vehicles really more environmentally friendly, or are they just exchanging one set of environmental problems for another? In order to learn the truth about the environmental impact of electric vehicles, we go into the nuances of the matter in this video. Emissions reduction. A key component of the case for electric vehicles is the decrease of emissions. Electric cars operate with zero tailpipe emissions when compared to conventional internal combustion engine vehicles, improving air quality and lowering greenhouse gas emissions. Electric vehicles are a viable solution to reduce the detrimental effects of vehicle emissions on the environment and public health because they run solely on electricity rather than fossil fuels. The use of electric vehicles can result in a considerable decrease in pollutants like carbon dioxide, CO2, nitrogen oxides, NOx, and particulate matter, which is good for the environment and human health, especially in urban areas where air quality issues are acute. Additionally, when renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and hydroelectric power are adopted and the grid gets cleaner, the environmental benefits of electric cars should increase. Transportation-related emissions can be further reduced by charging electric cars with clean electricity, starting a positive feedback loop that promotes environmental care. In addition to improving electric vehicles' environmental credentials, this shift to a cleaner grid emphasizes how crucial it is to decarbonize the energy industry as a whole in order to address climate change. It's crucial to understand that the environmental effect of electric vehicles depends on the electricity source utilized for charging. Electric vehicles may not save as much on emissions as vehicles running on fossil fuels, such as natural gas and coal, in locations where the percentage of renewable energy is higher. Furthermore, by simplifying the integration of renewable energy sources and increasing energy efficiency, electric automobiles offer additional environmental benefits beyond the immediate reductions in emissions during operation. When demand is at its highest, excess electricity from renewable sources can be stored in electric vehicle batteries and released back into the grid. In this way, electric vehicles can function as flexible energy storage devices. Furthermore, electric vehicles can now take part in demand response programs because of developments in vehicle-to-grid V2G technology, which increases the stability and resilience of the grid. These opportunities for cooperation between renewable energy and electric vehicles show how comprehensive approaches that tackle the problems of energy and transportation can lead to a more sustainable future. Life cycle analysis. Life cycle analysis looks at an electric vehicle's EV whole life cycle, from production to disposal, to give a thorough understanding of the environmental impact of EVs. Even though electric vehicles, EVs, have no tailpipe emissions when in use, the extraction of raw materials, production of batteries, and component assembly during the manufacturing process can have a substantial negative impact on the environment. For instance, in areas where these resources are mined, the mining of lithium, cobalt, and other rare earth metals required in EV batteries may result in habitat damage, water pollution, and violations of human rights. The energy-intensive nature of component transportation and battery manufacture also adds to the carbon footprint of electric vehicles. Nonetheless, research indicates that over the course of an electric car's lifetime, the emissions incurred in producing the vehicle are frequently offset by the emissions savings realized while driving the car, especially if it is powered by clean electricity. The management of EV batteries at the end of their useful lives also presents recycling and disposal issues. While efforts are being made to enhance battery longevity and create recycling technologies, resolving these issues is crucial to guaranteeing the sustainability of the shift to electric vehicles. Policymakers, manufacturers, and customers may reduce the environmental impact of electric vehicles and move towards a more sustainable transportation system by conducting life cycle evaluations and making educated decisions. Infrastructure and charging. Although infrastructure and charging infrastructure are essential to the mass adoption of electric vehicles, EVs, there are complicated environmental issues to take into account. The installation of charging infrastructure is becoming more and more necessary to meet the demands of EV owners as the market for EVs grows. However, a lot of resources, including as building supplies, energy, and transportation, are needed to install charging stations. Building charging infrastructure extraction, manufacturing, and transportation operations have an influence on the environment and increase carbon emissions. In addition, the development of the infrastructure for charging calls for improvements to the electrical grid in order to handle the rise in demand. While grid upgrades are necessary to facilitate the switch to electric vehicles, they may also entail increased energy use and the construction of new infrastructure, both of which could have an adverse effect on the environment. Furthermore, the type of electricity used to charge EVs has a significant impact on the environment. Charging electric vehicles, EVs, reduces greenhouse gas emissions in locations where energy is mostly generated from renewable sources, such as wind, solar, or hydroelectric power, as opposed to areas where electricity is primarily derived from fossil fuels. Therefore, areas with a cleaner energy mix will benefit from EVs' environmental benefits the most. Increasing the environmental sustainability of EV charging requires rapid efforts to decarbonize the electrical infrastructure and switch to renewable energy. Furthermore, resolving issues with battery recycling and disposal is critical to the long-term viability of the electric vehicle transition. Valuable elements found in EV batteries include lithium, cobalt, and nickel. Nonetheless, improper management of these batteries' disposal at the end of their useful lives can have negative environmental effects. Minimizing the environmental impact of EV batteries and fostering a circular economy for electric vehicle components need the development of effective recycling technologies and the implementation of strong battery recycling programs. Infrastructure and charging present environmental issues that need to be resolved even though they are crucial parts of the ecosystem for electric vehicles. From the implementation of efficient battery recycling programs, energy efficiency and charging infrastructure promotion, and a focus on renewable energy deployment, stakeholders can lessen the environmental impact of electric vehicle adoption and expedite the shift to a cleaner and more sustainable transportation system. The incorporation of infrastructure and charging networks for electric vehicles signifies a crucial turning point in our joint endeavor towards a more environmentally friendly mode of transportation. While increasing the infrastructure for charging electric vehicles is necessary to help consumers feel less anxious about their range, it's also critical to take the environmental effects of this procedure into account. Building, running, and maintaining charging stations requires a large amount of energy and resources, which increases carbon emissions and harms the environment. While we can minimize these negative consequences and optimize the environmental advantages of electric transportation by taking a comprehensive strategy that puts sustainability first. Several tactics should be used to lower the carbon footprint of infrastructure development, including as using responsibly sourced building materials, streamlining the construction process to use less energy, and integrating renewable energy sources into charging stations. Furthermore, there is a chance to quicken the shift to greener energy by modernizing the electrical system to handle the rising demand from electric vehicles. Investments in demand-responsive programs, energy storage systems, and smart grid technology can improve grid efficiency and stability and make it easier to integrate renewable energy sources. Moreover, the environmental consequences of electric vehicles surpass the infrastructure of charging and cover the full lifetime of EVs, which includes the manufacturing, using, and disposal of batteries at the end of their useful lives. The environmental effects of battery manufacture and disposal can be reduced by creating effective EV battery recycling techniques and encouraging a circular economy approach to battery manufacturing. Furthermore, encouraging more people to choose environmentally friendly modes of transportation and teaching them about the advantages of electric cars can increase the uptake of EVs while reducing their environmental impact. To put it simply, switching to electric cars is a revolutionary chance to fight climate change and decarbonize the transportation industry. We can fully utilize electric vehicles to build a more robust and sustainable transportation system for coming generations by tackling the environmental issues raised by infrastructure development and charging auctions. In a cleaner, greener future where electric transportation is synonymous with environmental stewardship and progress, we can prepare the way via cooperative efforts between politicians, industry stakeholders, and communities. Don't miss out on the latest updates and insights on electric vehicles and sustainable transportation solutions. Subscribe now to stay informed and be part of the movement towards a cleaner, greener future.